Formula One returns to Canada this weekend for the 2025 Formula One Canadian Grand Prix. We are racing here this weekend at Montreal for the first time, well, not for the first time, and not for the last time either. It is 14 corners, and about 3 of them are some of the most famous corners in the world. 4.361 kilometres, 2.71 miles, 349 kilometres top speed, 5.3 metres in elevation, 70 laps, and the race lap record 113.078 by Valtteri Bottas back in 2018. Here, there are 3 compounds of tyres heading into this weekend, the hard tyres being the C4, medium tyres being the C5, and the soft tyres being the C6. So again, using the C4, C5, and C6 compound tyres this week. And this session is going to be good. Round 10 qualifying, and it's here at Canada. It's probably the most important session of the weekend here. Free practice finished around about 10 minutes ago. And there's still plenty more streaming that I've got to do. I think I've still got to start up the Le Mans stream. I'm probably going to do that around 12 p.m. or somewhere close to that. But yeah, this stream is set to be quite good. It's qualifying for the Formula One Grand Prix at Canada. This one's going to be good. Next time out, we head to Austria. Then we head to Silverstone. But this weekend, we're here at Canada to see who will take pole. Now, heading into this weekend, Piastri leads the Drivers' World Championship by 10 points over Oscar Piastri. And then quickly behind Max Verstappen and George Russell, 26 points behind, so he's a whole race win ahead. And Norris is a whole race win ahead as well. So they're consistently scoring points, McLaren, and it's proving to be well done for Piastri, and that it's proving to be a good thought to score as many points as possible here. But McLaren, they're leading 157 points in the Constructors at this very moment in time, leading by 157 points. It's quite a big gap heading into this weekend, 157 points, and it's because of, once again, McLaren scoring those points, those consistent points over and over. And if you're able to do that, then you probably have a Constructors' Championship down pat. McLaren, of course, going for 2 Constructors' Championships in a row heading into this year. And then, of course, next year with the regulation changes, how will that affect McLaren? Who knows? Emerson Fittipaldi, the Formula One World Champion in 1972 and 1974 on screen at the moment. But, of course, those regulation changes that come in next year are going to be quite some big regulation changes for Formula One, and there's some the way that the cars built, the downforce and the aerodynamics of the car are going to be completely different. So, of course, we're closing to the halfway point of the season, which is a big talking point so far this year. The halfway point. I haven't even passed the halfway point at this point in the season, so still got quite a while to go. Still got 14 rounds to go left in the season, and a lot of drivers will now start to be thinking about their standings and the drivers' standings as well. Speaking about Yuki Tsunoda has a 10-place grid penalty heading into qualifying this weekend. Heading into qualifying, heading into the race, he's got a 10-place grid penalty. They send it down to Ted Kravitz in the pit lane.
Meaning the difference of, 4th on the grid to possibly 10th on the grid, and maybe even struggling to get into Q3. So that was the hard ask to knock the rookies around here. But they're all ready to go, indeed. They're lining up the and they finally got it.
Indeed, all the rookies will be and indeed all the rookies are lining up at the end of the pit lane, getting ready for this session. Now, of course, just before this session, we had F1 Academy, and there was quite a big accident. So I won't be surprised if there's a lot of dirt and debris on the circuit There's a bit of wind also that's picked up, which will be affecting the aerodynamics of these cars. And so F1 Academy will have probably affected the track conditions just a little bit. There was quite a big crash at the Wall of Champions. They actually had to red flag that race. I streamed it a couple hours ago. It was quite a hefty incident. There involving a few cars actually. So yeah, that's quite unfortunate. Liam Lawson makes his way out onto the track. Q1. This session going to be quite important to get through into Q2 here. It's progressive format like it has been for the last few years inside of Formula 1. As Alex Albon gets his lap underway. Even qualifying for his first qualifying lap. We saw Alex Albon doing a lot of qualifying simulations in FP1 and FP2. A lot of those qualifying simulations were quite quick as well. Quite quick indeed, those quality sims, as the two Ferrari cars getting ready to make their way out onto the grid, make their way out onto the circuit, sorry. Both Ferrari cars making their way out onto the circuit as we take a look here, a replay of Andrea Kimi Antonelli had to stop as he came out of the pit lane.
Better just to hang back a little bit rather than...
Kimi Antonelli had to avoid impeding, so the risk of possibly impeding there for Andrea Kimi Antonelli was quite high for Kimi. Qualifying head-to-head between Oscar and Lando. These two have been quite dominant so far this season, so far this year. In terms of their results, they've been quite strong with their results so far this year. It's definitely made a difference in terms of the constructors. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, they lead in the constructors. You see all the dirt and the grass that's been kicked up from the F1 Academy race. A few incidents actually happened there. One safety car on a red flag, so it was quite big in F1 Academy. George Russell gets his lap underway. Let's get a lap of this Mercedes car with George Russell.
This stuff is very, very bumpy. You go under the shadow of the grid and brake under that, on that shadow. And again, ease the car to the outside. And you don't want to hug the left there, otherwise you'll be too tight into a massive stopping zone for the hairpin. And again, just squeeze the throttle pedal, and you've got a little bit of wheel slip there, which kills your speed a touch down this very, very long straight. And you've got to be on the left-hand side at the end of it, your left, so that you open the corner up. And then don't take too much curve, otherwise you'll bounce straight into that wall on the right-hand side. And Russell then goes over the line, a mid-12, not especially good.
Yes, especially not the best lap we've seen so far this weekend, as this is Ollie Behrman making his run up into turn 1 and hitting the brakes, lost the rear end, so a bit of rear brake blocking for Oliver Behrman. That lap will be dead.
So lap over.
Behrman, they're saying sorry over the radio for that lap, and Lewis Hamilton doing the exact same thing as he ran wide after turn 1. So a lot of rear brake blocking for most of these cars, most of these drivers suffering with that rear brake blocking. Here, Charles Leclerc on a lap at the moment, personal best first and second sector. He will make his way to the line and see what this lap is as he approaches the chicane of turn 14 and 15. Sorry, it's turn 13 and 14. The hairpin back at turn 12, he executed quite nicely. Leclerc to the line. What is this lap going to be? It's only P9, 1 second, 0.7 of a second off the pace of George Russell, 12.57. Lando Norris on a lap now. He started his lap, he's heading through turn 4 and turn 5. And then approaching turn 6 here at the shorter hairpin approach speed of around about 160 kilometers an hour for braking down to about 130. So it's only about a 30k knockoff in braking there for Lando Norris through the left and right hander, and then approach turn 10 and turn 11, and then the approach of turn 12. Braking, this is turn 10. Braking into turn 10, Franco Colapinto up into P3. He's done a 12.7. He was quite good early on in the third free practice session. So a lot of streaming I've done in the past couple hours. I couldn't do FP3 because I had a few other things to do. There's Lando Norris, he's making his way to the line now for Lando. And this lap is going to most likely put him somewhere up there. It certainly does. It's a 12.6 for Lando Norris. Lewis Hamilton is making his way to the line in the Ferrari, only P16. It is a 13.8. Oscar Piastri is on a lap at the moment. Personal best first sector, purple second sector. Stroll is fastest through the first sector. But someone else has just knocked that off. I think it might be Max Verstappen. 12.332 for Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen is on a really good lap at the moment. Lance Stroll. Fernando Alonso has gone fastest to the first sector. Lance Stroll is making his way to the line. What's this lap going to be for Stroll? It is P2 for Lance Stroll. It is a 12.51. Fernando Alonso, he is on a lap at the moment. He is 1 second, 1 whole second faster than Oscar Piastri through that second sector. So the medium tyres seem to be the quicker of the two tyres heading into qualifying, as Fernando Alonso this is his first lap, and it's on the medium tyres. It seems to be pretty good. It's nearly 1.5 seconds up on Oscar Piastri. Well, he's 1.5 seconds faster. He's half a second faster than the knockout time of Leclerc. What's this lap going to be? It's P3. He lost a bit of time in that final sector, 12.52 for Fernando Alonso. See what Leclerc can do as he makes his way. He's down in P16 at the moment. He's 1 whole second off the pace. The top 10 separated by less than half a second at this point, as the approach speed on DRS about 330 kilometers an hour. A lot of G's. 8th gear, braking, 130 k's, knocking off 130 k's in speed. Leclerc, he's coming to the line on this lap. It's going to be P2. It's a 13.4 for Charles Leclerc. A 12.4 for Leclerc. Good luck from Piastri to keep him up where he is. Now, big name down the bottom, P7 for Lando Norris in the early part of Q1. Everybody has done their initial times. And he's done their first initial times here for the first part here in qualifying, as Max Verstappen gets his lap underway. He's done in P20, has not done a lap just yet. Now, the first sector for Max Verstappen, he hasn't actually set a time yet, but he's 5 thousandths up on Oscar Piastri at this point through the first sector. Through turn 8 and turn 9, the chicane of turn 8 and turn 9, there's 4 chicanes through here, about left and right. Nico Hülkenberg, he's about 7 tenths up on that first sector for Hülkenberg. He's about 2 tenths faster than Oscar Piastri at this point. He's about 2 tenths off Oscar Piastri at this point on this lap for Max Verstappen. But he's definitely improving. Isaac Hadjar up into P7. Riding on board here with Max Verstappen through turn 13 and 14. And making his run now to the line with 8.5 minutes to go. It's going to be P1 for Max Verstappen. Found a lot of time in that final sector. 12.273 for Max Verstappen. George Russell up into P4. The top 4 cars separated by less than 1 tenth. 1 tenth. How tight is that? This is Oscar Piastri. Replay, overshooting it down at turn number 2. Just missed the braking marker. Overshot it and went straight on. Didn't actually physically cut the corner, but he did pick up a bit of that curb, and it's just shot him off wide. Just a little bit. So, not what he would have wanted so early on in this session. 7.5 minutes to go. As Yuki Tsunoda is on a lap at this point in time. He's P18 at the moment. He's in the knockout zone. There's a bit of metal into turn 8 from Oscar Piastri. Fernando Alonso has just gone to the top 12.239. Yuki Tsunoda has got a 10-place grid penalty for the race, heading into the race tomorrow. 10th place grid penalty for Yuki Tsunoda. Here at the moment, he's only about 1,000th up on Alex Albon, so this isn't the best lap known to me. And I'm going to guess it's going to put in P15 or 16, possibly, as we look at the suspension arm of Yuki Tsunoda's car. As he runs through the final 2 corners, it's P9, so we found a bit of time. 3/10 faster than Pierre Gasly, who is now in the knockout zone. Watching on there is Summer McIntosh, the 3-time Olympic gold medalist of swimming. Been doing really good in the world of swimming for Australia, even for America. Been doing really good there. So, good to see. Alex Albon at the moment is on a lap, half a second up through the second sector, half a second faster than Carlos Sainz. This will put him probably P6 here, Alex Albon, if he continues on with this lap. He's currently P17. Half a second would put him P6, or possibly even, P6, P7 at this point in the session. Esteban Ocon P19 at the moment. We'll see what this lap is like for Alex Albon. Is this going to be an improvement? It is not. So Albon did not improve on that lap. So that's why. Oh, God. Oh, he's had heavy contact with the right-hand side wall down there. Is that just... Oh, God. So that's completely ripped off the right-hand side of that. Is that like aerodynamic? Oh, God. So that's... I thought he made contact with the wall there, but he didn't. Now, that lap was going to put him P6 or P7. Now, that's aerodynamic. And that's going to be a big fix for the Williams team. There, and it's a red flag. A lot of debris on the back straight down there, and it'll take a minute or 2 to clear up. But a red flag here, and that is quite strange. So, that's fully popped off that car. Let's take a listen to what Sky Sports commentary have to say.
5 currently Alex Albon, so he doesn't need to get back out on the track and try to improve his position. Top 4 yesterday for Albon in the Williams, who have been going pretty well so far this weekend with both cars. And you've got Carlos Sainz down there in the bottom 5 too. That would be a massive blow for the team if both of their drivers remain in that bottom 5.
Yeah, it's a team that would expect to be just sneaking into the top 10, isn't it, this weekend?
So, red flag then, and rightly so. And once Ollie Bearman has gone past turn 12, where the debris is, the marshals can get onto the track and clear that debris away. As into the pits then comes that Williams. And Ted Kravitz, you're down there.
Thank you, Crofty. Yeah, I'm just looking down to the very, very worried faces on the Williams pit wall. They have to understand immediately what happened. Normally these bits of bodywork are all taped down with essentially a sort of sticky tape. Well, it is sellotape, not double-sided, but they're all sort of taped down. So has there been some damage that has caused it to fail? Was there a bit of finger trouble in the garage that it wasn't all either taped down or screwed down? They need to understand that quickly. I'm kind of waiting to see if there are any people from the FIA going down there to understand. In fact, I can see a man in blue trousers and a white shirt with an FIA logo on it on his way down to the Williams garage, and that might not be something that if they could just repair it on Albon and get him out again in this red flag, that Albon will be able to carry on, because if the FIA need to understand exactly what's happened, they might not let him. Sainz currently is in, isn't he, Crofty? I think at 15th.
No, he's 16th.
Oh, is he 16th? Okay, so my is wrong to see across the pit wall here, but yeah, that might mean that they want a good old look at these things before to be absolutely sure to let those Williams out on track again.
So here's an interesting one as well, Martin, that Alex Albon has been noted by the race director for failing to follow the instructions in terms of finding an escape road. So he went on and did another lap, I'm thinking, after the bodywork came off. Was he obliged to come straight into the pits because that was the first escape road that he would have come across? And could he be in trouble for carrying on here?
I'm going to assume what he did wrong was he rejoined the track too quickly and didn't go all the way down to the back of the orange line. So he's going to turn in with a load of oversteer because he's lost bodywork at the back. So he's lost a lot of rear downforce. He'll turn into the corner, back end slides.
Red flag, red flag. Lost a lot of the bodywork there, as you probably can see behind you.
No, is that why?
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Just believe
So he's gone over the orange go, but then he has to carry on down the runoff area and go round the back of the an orange line that we can't see right now. So I'm going to assume that's what it means about the escape road instructions.
Could be right, but there's also, to compound that, the bit that if you have got damage to your car, you're obliged to pull over as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And there was obvious damage to his car, but you can understand in qualifying why he would want to carry on and try and complete his lap. The track's clear.
The track is clear here for the rest of Q1. The rest of this session here, Fernando Alonso leads this session at the moment. So Q1 will resume at 4:20 local time. So that's 6:20 a.m. at the time of 6:20 a.m. at the time of this happening. I think it's probably 5:20 a.m. if anything. So yeah, 5:20 a.m. the approximate start time for this session, and it's just gone 11 a.m. here. So yeah, we're going to wait for the red light to come on. We're going to wait for the green light to come on at the end of the pit lane, and we'll get back with qualifying. For that Williams team has a lot to digest as to what actually happened there, and they're going to be scavenging to get that car back out on the circuit. He's currently Albon P18 at the moment. It's not a good lap. It's not going to get him in. He's P18. It won't get him in because he's out in Q1. There, George Russell sitting in P5. I reckon at this point nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. They're going to go out for their what is possibly final runs. But the red flag is still out on circuit, but our timing graph is showing that it's clear at this point in time. So probably still got a bit of debris to pick up or something, but Fernando Alonso at the top of this session at this point. Fernando Alonso here will be waiting at the end of the pit lane here to head back out. Still waiting here for confirmation. So still got a couple minutes. Let's head back to the world feed.
To find at least half a second. And with the Williams having gone so well, just to underline what you've been saying, for this weekend so far, this is such a sort of gutting thing for them to happen. But yeah, so I've seen sights out. I'm kind of expecting from what you're saying that Albon is going to follow.
Yeah, 1:12.6 for Lando Norris, and for Liam Lawson, and for Isaac Hadjar, and for Yuki Tsunoda, and a 1:12.587 for Kimi Antonelli. It's tight.
Yeah, and Norris is at the back of that, so I think it's just an overly cautious lap from Lando Norris because we didn't see any issues when we were watching him. But so the reset happens then.
Quite as happy as the rest of the crowd there, but well done to Mum and Dad for putting earphones and protective headphones on to that young baby, who I'm sure will be thrilled by their first ever experience at the Grand Prix.
Green light is now back on at the end of the pit lane. That baby did not seem like the happiest chap ever. Definitely didn't seem like the happiest chap ever. Definitely didn't look the happiest at that point. I'm just trying to pull up my timing to see what else we have. I'm just trying to, I'm just going to try and pick up the timing here if I possibly can. I'm just waiting for it to load. Here, 4.5 minutes. Everybody's going to go on for another run. Everybody's going to go on for another one, which is of the importance. And there we go. There, I've got my timing. There we go. We're happy. We're happy. As Piastri runs down Casino Straight, the back straight at this point, and then through the Wall of Champions as well. So Alonso, those tyres, the lap that Alonso did on those tyres was 7 laps old. So those tyres were 7 laps old on the lap that he did as Norris starts his lap into turn 1 and turn 2. Norris will start his lap, and he's currently down in P12, but that was more or less explosive for Alex Albon in that position. It was actually I thought he made contact with the wall as he come around the last chicane there, but he didn't actually make contact. It was the fact that the car just blew up, like the chassis blew up, the panel just blew up on him. That was quite weird. That was. Lando Norris continues his lap at this point. He's half a second up through the first 2 sectors. It's 22.6. He's a half a second up through that second sector. That's a really good lap there for Lando Norris as he comes down Casino Straight. The projected knockout time here will be a 1:12.5. What can Lando Norris do? Oscar Piastri goes to the top. It's a 1:11.939. Who will make it into Q2 and who will not? Lando Norris will go to the top. It's a 1:11.826 there for Lando, and the Williams gets out back onto the circuit. So that is really good recovery time there from the Williams crew to get that car back out on circuits. Lance Stroll is on a lap at the moment. He's P8. He's not improving though. Lewis Hamilton up into P3. So that will confirm the safety of Lewis Hamilton there. I don't think many people will improve on their second laps. Lance Stroll is definitely not improving on his second lap. He's 4.5 seconds slower. Fernando Alonso up at a P4, so maybe taking the best out of those medium tyres at this point in the session. Hello, Crash Gamer Kid. Welcome in. Possibly might have taken the best life out of those tyres at this point in the session. How are we, Mason? Are you good? How are we? 1.5 minutes left in this session. Lando Norris 1:11.826 at this point, followed by Oscar Piastri, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Colapinto, Verstappen, Russell, Stroll, and Kimi Antonelli. Isaac Hadjar is on a lap at the moment. It is 2 personal bests, and with a possible improvement. He is not safe at this point, Isaac Hadjar, with 70 seconds to go. Alex Albon, you can see behind him, is out on circuit. He's warming those tyres up. He's getting ready for a lap. Yuki Tsunoda is also improving at this point in time. Isaac Hadjar, he comes to the line. It is P5 for Isaac Hadjar. He will be safe. Yuki Tsunoda. What's this lap going to do for Yuki? It is going to be P9. So that might put him safe. Ollie Behrman, though, is not. He's outside drop zone. He's half a second faster than Esteban Ocon. This will only put him P13 for Oliver Behrman. At this point, there are a few people out there that are going to that will improve. Ocon is on the drop zone. He's P15. At this point, he's improving, and this lap will put him around about P5 or P6 if he continues on. Behrman with a bit of a slide before he hits the Wall of Champions. So the Wall of Champions chicane, catching a few people out the rear end. Ollie Behrman up into P11. Good time found there for Oliver Behrman. Nico Hulkenberg will be around about P12, and that's exactly where he goes. Good luck there from Nico. Esteban Ocon is P17 at the moment. This will put him P14. That will not be safe. Alex Albon, he is up, and this is his 2nd lap in a row. This time, his chassis, or he doesn't blow up on him. Alex Albon, what's this lap going to be? P6. There we go. Alex Albon out into Q2, sorry. Carlos Sainz, P20 at the moment. This will be an improvement. It's P16. He lost a lot of time. He actually kicked up a lot of dirt before he hit the line. Oh, Bortoleto just misses out on Q2. He's gone P16. He's 0.7 milliseconds off getting in. 7 milliseconds off Esteban Ocon. And Fernando Alonso gets in. He is in P5. So Fernando Alonso gets into Q2 comfortably. And he also gets in quite safely. Max Verstappen is another lot of drivers continuing or finishing a lap. It's only P5 for Max Verstappen as he finished that lap. But for Max Verstappen, only 0.2 off the two McLarens. And the two Ferraris, P3 and P4, so closing up to McLaren, closing that margin to McLaren, only now 0.1 separating the two McLaren cars. Their Hadjar and Sainz incident turned 6 noted for impeding. So an impeding incident going on there for Carlos Sainz and Liam Lawson, I think it was. This is Carlos, and yes, so he has impeded. So that's why Carlos didn't end up getting in. Massive impeding, massive. So Carlos won't be happy with that one. And that's proof.
He tries to run into me. Clay was about to.
I don't think it was on a flying lap. And the thing is, one of those cars.
So Isaac thinking that Sainz had actually aborted that lap. So he's saying that he nearly hit him. Now, a big shock name, Pierre Gasly down in P20. So he will not make it through. He'll be starting at the back of the grid. Gabriele Bortoleto, P16. Carlos Sainz, P17. Stroll, P18. Lawson, P19. Gasly, P20 on the grid. So Pierre Gasly out in the first part of qualifying. Very much not handy to be out in the first part of qualifying. So is Lance Stroll, who is out in the first parts of qualifying as well. We're not too far away from Q2 getting underway. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Back to Montreal, disappointment for Liam Lawson, his worst qualifying since China.
What the hell just happened? I have no idea.
So Liam Lawson not happy with his qualifying position. In Q1 he's out, and in P17, Lance Stroll P18, so not happy with that. I think I was actually Lance Stroll that we said that over the radio there, so not happy with that result for Lance Stroll. That is Franco Colapinto having a nap here for Q2. Well, more or less closing his eyes before Q2 here. Got about a minute 20 before Q2 gets underway. Fernando Alonso, he's about a quarter of a second faster than Stroll through the middle part of the lap. 0.3 faster than Stroll, actually. So, still a little bit of time to find there, and Yuki Tsunoda will be taking a 10 place grid penalty for a red flag infringement in FP3. So, not good for Red Bull, and that's the second Red Bull that is starting P20. That is the second time in a row that Red Bull has started from the back of the grid in a Formula 1 Grand Prix. And that's definitely not a good start to have against your name. Especially not in this sport either. Not exactly what you would need. Here's the drivers out in Q1. Bortoleto, Sainz, Stroll, Lawson and Gasly. The 4 drivers out in Q1. And the fans there cheering on from the grandstands as Max Verstappen heads out on the medium tyres. So, deciding to qualify this session on the medium compound tyres. This session only 15 minutes long, next session 12 minutes, and so on. But of course, still plenty of time here to, well, for the next half an hour, it's going to be decide who gets pole and who doesn't here, who just misses out on pole and who gets in. So this is now the middle stage of qualifying. The last year pole time, 1 minute 12.0, for last year's pole time. Yes, that is Ben Stiller, the actor. I think he was in the F1 movie. He was an actor there, but Ben Stiller, an actor here in this sport. Of course, F1, the movie, is making its debut this year, which is quite cool to see. It's also quite cool to see that there's a movie in Formula 1. And it's been a long time coming since that has happened. Max Verstappen starts his lap here in Q2. Let's take a lap on board with Max Verstappen.
Next to start in Spain, his third start in the last 2 years. Right, on board with Max Verstappen in practice. This was not a car he was enjoying very much. Is it a better beast for him in qualifying?
So yeah, Norris went out on those same-use tyres again, so he can get himself back on target, hopefully. A lot of steering wheel movement going on Max's car. Let's see what sort of confidence he's got when it dances on the brake pedal. A little bit more hesitant than we normally hear from Max, as he just waits for it to settle down. And we're going to hit the brakes about 80 metres before the corner. And it rotates quite nice. I thought he was going to go past the apex there, but he didn't. And now, just sit tight and just ease the circle. Don't scrub any speed up. And let the car just walk itself to the left-hand side. And there's a braking there. Wow, again, 80 metres from well over 210 miles an hour. That's extraordinary deceleration. And over the line he goes with a 1:11.6. Andy.
4 tenths improvement on his best time in Q1. Lando Norris crosses the
Lando Norris crosses the line. He goes P2. He will not beat Max Verstappen's lap. It's a 1:11.6. Oscar Piastri, on the other hand, who's coming through the chicane, might possibly beat Max Verstappen's time on this point. He does not. He's less than 1/10 off. 1:11.7. Plays a 1:11.638. At this point, so only 3 drivers have settled up. Colapinto goes P4, but 7 tenths off the pace at this point. So still 7 tenths off the pace is quite remarkable. How far off the pace Colapinto is there. Behrman goes P4. Leclerc is improving, plus the rest first at second sector, running through the World Champion chicane. Bit sideways out of the second part of it. But Leclerc, P8. What's this lap going to be? P4, 2 tenths off Oscar there. 1:11.918. Lewis Hamilton. Here he is coming to the line, and it's going to be a 11.8 from Lewis Hamilton. I'm just seeing what Colapinto's time was. It was a 12.3 from Colapinto. Alex Albon P10 at the moment. He's cusping on, but at the moment nobody has, well, there's only been about 7 cars that have set a really indicative lap time. Alex Albon, though, who last session ended up with that chassis teared off in Q1. The body work got teared off. Aerodynamic efficiency wasn't exactly what they needed. As Fernando Alonso P10 at the moment, he's on the cusp. He hasn't. Hulkenberg, Hadjar, Tsunoda, Russell, or Antonelli have not yet set a lap. So none of those drivers have set a lap yet. As Fernando Alonso to the line, it's P6 for Fernando. It is a 11.9 for him. There, so Verstappen's first time, quite handy. It'll be a matter now of going back into the pits and bolting on a brand new set of tyres. Yuki Tsunoda is on a lap at the moment. At least he's starting one. Of course, he's got a 10-place grid penalty. If he can get it into Q3, it will be a bit less of a struggle in the race. But again, 10 places is quite a big gap from what we saw last year. Not from what we saw last year. It's quite a big drop in the results. So, for example, we started P8, we started P18, which is not exactly what is handy for the Red Bull team. Of course, it is the second Red Bull ever to start from the back of the grid. Not handy whatsoever. At this point, Yuki Tsunoda's on a lap though, P13 at the moment. Hasn't set a lap. Hulkenberg has just gone up into P10, so he's in that drop zone area. Yuki Tsunoda's in the drop zone at the moment. Hulkenberg's just outside the drop zone, and he'll knock him back out at this point, P7. If he finishes that way, it will be P17 for Yuki Tsunoda. Hi, what's up? What's up, Harrison? How are we? Isaac Hadjar makes his way to the line. It's P10 for Isaac Hadjar. He's done an 11.9. I deleted my shorts and my channel. Why did you delete? Why? Why did you? You were going so well. Why did you? Russell improving at this point. He's 3 sets up on what is Isaac Hadjar at this point. So this will be a good lap from Russell. We'll put him about P7 if he continues on. Race control. Ocon incident. Turn 12 following to fail race instructions there. No, you were going well. You were. Because I did. Was it just you didn't want to make videos anymore? Or Russell goes up into P6 there. That will most likely put him safe. Kimi Antonelli, he's through the final 2 corners, the chicane, the World Champions, and P8 for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. 2 tenths faster than what was called Pinto, but now Bannon on the cusp there in P10. Toto Wolff watching on. Franco Colapinto breaking into the World Champions. Sliding, not hitting the wall, luckily enough. But got a big snap of oversteer out of the final corner. They actually got quite a big snap of oversteer, to be honest. Harrison, you were going so well. I don't know why you quit. You were genuinely going so well. Verstappen, he did that lap on the medium tyres. That's quite a big lap from Verstappen. Quite a big lap indeed to do that on the medium tyres. That will put him in, and there's no point in wasting a set of softs when you only have 2 sets of softs left, and you probably want to have the biggest crack trying to get into Q3 with 2 sets of soft compound tyres. Leclerc is probably firing up another lap, and that's exactly what he's doing. Leclerc firing up another lap here. So only another lap here from Leclerc on the soft tyres. He's only 0.03 off of Lewis Hamilton, who's in P4 at this point. Leclerc into the chicane, or one of many chicanes here. Leclerc is about 2/10 off. Off 2/10 off Verstappen, so it's only move him up 1 spot. So was there any point in really doing another lap? I mean, there is improvement there for Charles Leclerc as he runs through the chicane. He's purple through the second sector. He's 0.07 off Max Verstappen there. So this is going to be quite a big number, but it'll only put in P4 still. So good second sector there for Leclerc. He's running down the casino. Straight at this point. Last year's pole lap 12.0. That will most likely be beaten this year. What does Leclerc do on this lap? It'll only be about P4. Oh, he goes to the top. He found a chunk of time. In the end, Leclerc 1:11.626. So he found quite a chunk of time in the end. So that's a really good lap. Top 4 separated by less than a tenth. So good pace there from Ferrari here in qualifying. Can they show it though? Alex Albon. He is making his way down the back straight. And into the Wall of Champions chicane. I say that like he's hit the wall. But Alex Albon up to P7. And with an improvement there. So that lap will comfortably put him through. Well, probably not comfortably, but it will put him somewhat through for now. But everybody will most likely improve in this session, which is the thing. Is that nobody's safe at this point. Nobody is safe. Franco Colapinto, he's 7